In this video I'll be turning this into this. Stick around for the latest new Junction video to find out how I do it. So the idea of this came about when I saw on Helgen.com a new kit, or not a new kit, rather old kit actually, called Tackley Halt Station. Now this is a 00 gauge Halt, and being quite honest, it's a cheap and cheerful kit. It retails at £24.98, so it's rather cheap, and I thought it's worth a go. I've got some spare scenics lying about, let's give it a go. So as you can see, I'm unboxing and cutting the bits off the sprues. It's looking a tad plasticky, but let's see what we can do. So the first step, as you can see, is using my Expo file, just filing off all the burrs left from the sprues. Once that's done, I use some Rocket Rapid by Deluxe Materials to glue the kit together. It's very simple. There are a few, lugs, which you just put a bit of glue on, and away you go. Melts the plastic and goes solid. Simple as that. If I can do it, anyone can do it. Although, trusting my own skills, I've put it on a bit of cardboard because, knowing me, I'll get glue everywhere. Once glued, I'm using a bit of Rocket Hot Glue, which is a much thinner and faster working glue. Now I'm pouring this down the gaps just to make sure the station building or the station platforms are really stuck together, and then any excess I'm just wiping off with a bit of paper. Now don't use your fingers because you'll stick your skin to the plastic. Ask me how I know. Once done, I'm using the textured concrete spray. Now you can get these from Amazon, and you've got two colours, Empire and City Hall. Now this was stolen from Simon George of Heat and Lodge fame, who does a sort of two spray action to get a nice concrete effect, which I think works very, very well. Now he's used it on depot floors, concrete floor if you like, but I thought, let's apply this to the station platform. Now once it's dry, I'm using a bit of tape just to section off all the bits I'm going to paint separately. So as you can see, the first bit will be this wall, and I just need it taped off because I'm not that neat a painter. So using the Rail Centre Brick Buildings kit, I'm taking three colours. I'll be using 0041, 0029 and 0031. In essence, they're three tones of brick colour. I mix them together and you get a nice sort of varied brick tone with them. So on a piece of paper I do 3 dots of each, and then using an angled brush. Now the angled brush being very important, helps you get into the corners very easily. I mix it up as a sort of temporary palette. Don't quite mix it all together so the paint stays varied on the wall, and then away we go. While that's drying, I use a bit more of the Tamiya tape to mark out a white line for the edge of the platform, and again using what I call a stubby brush, I just paint on some of the Rail Centre white paint. Nice and simple, and then before it's dried I take the tape off. Quite satisfying. So as you can see, with the two-tone concrete effect and the white line, it just turns this very plasticky looking kit into something a bit more realistic, a bit more acceptable. So I'm really happy with this. So moving on, I now go to the fence panels, which I have sprayed up with various brown textures. I also use a bit more of the Rocket Rapid, but for this, rather than pouring it onto the painted surface, I add a dab to some cardboard, and then using an off-cutter plastic, I will then dab a bit of glue, minimal glue, onto the points of contact before putting it onto the platform itself. And then you'll see the rail centre paints have another use, and that is holding the fence up while the glue is dry. Now, it doesn't take too long. I normally, when I glue things like this, set a timer for 5 minutes before doing the next one, but for the sake of the film, I will speed through this. And as you can see, the paint pot's coming in useful yet again. So continuing the spraying theme, the Tamiya colour spray for plastic comes out. Now this is the blue, I just happen to have it, and as you can see, the slightly darker fence is the one that's sprayed. It just takes the plastic edge off the blue plastic bits, and as you can see, I've done all of the parts before being stuck onto the platform itself, starting with the bike racks, and of course using the paint box again. Next, I'm turning my attention to the piece of wood I've nominated for this small diorama. So it's about 4 foot long and probably 10 inches front to back, and I'll be using some burnt umber paint just to add the first ground cover of the wood. So basically, if there's any gaps in the scenery, you get a nice earthy colour underneath, as opposed to the plywood tone. Once dry, I roughly position the station before adding some pieces of track. Now, I've opted to make this a double track diorama, and as you can see, I'm just securing it with a couple of track pins using a set spacer to make sure they're adequately apart. And I'm not going to stick it in the normal way or nail it in the normal way. I'm going to wait for the ballast and the glue to actually fix it fully later on, but for now I'm just using a couple of track pins. Annoyingly, the board is slightly bigger than one piece of track, so a third piece was cut to continue to the end of the board. And the top tip when doing this, always save your spare sleepers, because you can cut the details off them and slide them into the gaps. Although in this instance I filmed doing one, but I actually needed 2, and as you can see, you can't notice where the gap is. So, time to glue the station in place before the ground cover. So now it's time for some messy modelling. Now, using some WWS basing glue, which I have far too much of. I think I brought a multi-pack back in the day and it's lasted me forever. It's great stuff. So as you can see, put a line on the brown paint and just cover the surface area. Now for this I use a dead brush, or one that's uncleanable because of too much use, and I use it now to spread glue about on baseboards. So once the glue is on, working quickly, I'll be using my tried and tested method of layering with the Woodland Scenics earths. So I've got these sort of brown earth that's going on first, then the green, and then accenting it with a few pinches of the black. Next I'll be moving on to some true to scale. I was going to do the whole thing green actually, but I decided to try this out. Now this is the universal tarmac covering. It's much bigger than the powder, but then not as big as the clump foliage from Woodland Scenics. Now, I was going to originally do a path, but I thought I liked it that much, I thought I'll make a car park out of it. So, as you can see, I started spreading it everywhere. And as you can see from all that treatment, we've got a sort of very realistic looking undercover for the plywood there. Now it's not the final covering at all, it's just the very, very base. And I think it's quite effective. Definitely better than plain plywood on show. Now we'll be moving on to the ballast. Traditionally I'd let this all dry, but for making this video I'm going to rush straight on. Now, using an old tub of the Hatton's limestone ballast, it's a case of simply pouring it out and pinching it on to the track. And I usually go up the middle and then down the sides very lightly. It'll look a bit messy to begin with, but once we finish spreading it out like this and brushing it down, it'll soon neaten up. Once we're ready to brush the ballast, I use a 1-inch brush. It has to be clean because you need the unimpeded flexibility of the bristles to be able to neatly brush this over the sleepers. Now the aim here is to do it slowly, unlike this sped up video, and you're trying to get as much evenly and neatly spread out and off the top of the sleeper heads where possible. And as you can see, the transformation is quite telling. Next is the always a fun job, messy gluing of the ballast. Now I use a roughly 50-50 mix of PVA glue and water with a dash of washing up liquid in there, and I also heavily wet the ballast first with isopropyl alcohol, and that just breaks the tension and helps the liquid and glue flow through the ballast. As you can see, they make a real mess. Now you mustn't panic at this phase. You want it to be flooded because you need it to be solid. And don't forget, it's also holding the track down in this instance. Now, AK paint pens by Real Colour Markers. Absolutely fantastic things, saved me a job. I've got a brown one here and I'm just going to paint the sides of the rails, and believe me, it saves you a massive job. I almost didn't need to speed this footage up because it's so quick and easy. These paint pens are a game changer, and I've used them quite a few times on this diorama, and they massively improve your ability to model faster and more efficiently. Next, ready for the later layers on the ground cover, we tape up the track. I always do this out of habit, even though this isn't going to be running. Using some WWS static layering spray, my Progress Micro Static Grass applicator, and then I've got two colours of static grass from WWS. I have the North European, which is a sort of rich darker green, and then I accent that with some dead patchy stuff. Now I keep these in these food tubs rather than the main thing, but they last forever. They're great. I'll also be using some Woodland Scenics coarse turfs. I've got some burnt grass and light green, and to top it off I'll be using an accent shaker. Now I only have the yellow flowers, so basically just a yellow powder in there, but really good, and it really sets it off. So first things first, I add the first layer of grass, lots of spray down, and then you go to town with the shaker. And the great stuff about this method is you don't have to let it dry, and you can do it in one foul swoop. You just keep adding spray layers. So I've emptied the bucket and now put the patchy on, and as you can see it starts to thicken up and transform the zone. Now I'll be adding the coarse turfs in slight clumps on the patchiness, and as the layers build up it really starts to build up and look more realistic. I also use some of the fine turf just to merge them together. I find that's the secret before adding the yellow accent. Now this is the same method I use on the main layout in New Junction, and as you can see it's really effective, particularly as the layers sort of transform the scene before your eyes. It's very effective for very few products really, and you can of course use a multitude of colours. Now don't forget to brush off your scenery before the glue dries. Now moving on to trees, I'm using the Knock Sea Foam for this, and I'm just going to pick a couple of larger pieces which look like trees, and for speed I'm using Rocket Rapid just to glue them down, and ordinarily I'd probably colour them up with some fine turf etc and some hairspray just to green them up, but for this instance they're going to be a lighter tree and just plonked in place. Now for the satisfying bit, pulling up all the tape from earlier. Now if this was a running railway I would then strongly suggest going over it with a track rubber as well, just to get rid of any of the glue. You don't want that on your wheels. Moving on to station details, as you can see it's a mix of my own 3D printed bits, Model U Me, a bike from Western Wagon Works, which funnily enough I painted up very quickly with some other paint pens. Great addition. One thing I didn't do quickly was glue this canopy down, or take the time to glue it down. As you can see it's a forgotten job, and it's showing me right up in this clip. As you can see from a few close-ups, a few people and a few details really start to lift the scene and basically transform it, because your eye isn't looking at that original plasticky station kit anymore. You're starting to look at a scene, which is quite convincing. And what better way to celebrate a new scene, a new photo board, than stick my latest edition in the platform, which happens to be one of the new Akira scale slugs, the 37.9, which has arrived today. And to get full effect I took it outside to get some natural light, although it was a tad windy as you can see from the seafoam trees blowing around. I think you should give this video a like just for my ability to have little plastic Model U figures stood up in the wind. But as you can see from this super simple kit, a few simple techniques, you can really make a relatively realistic scene, and I'm really happy with it. And the sun's out. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you very soon in the next one. Bye for now.